Jackie Kashian, Laurie Kilmartin.
Hello.
You're in Europe. You're in Europe.
I am.
Is that your own bathrobe, or is that a
It's
hotel
the
bath?
hotel. 2 of the 3 hotels have the robes. So
Oh
I'm
my
pretty happy
gosh.
lady. I did bring a robe unnecessarily as it's added. Jackie, I have dragged the suitcase up so many flights of stairs and
Yeah.
everything hurts and
Oh,
a
I
lot
bet.
of, yeah. Paris, I don't even know where to start.
Right.
Where do I
Start in
start?
Berlin. Start in Berlin.
Get to Berlin.
Yep.
I think the Hampton Inn that you recommended that I stayed in. I don't know if you
Always.
recommended. You
I
always
always recommend a Hampton Inn. I've never been to Berlin, so I'm hoping.
Germany is it's a little tough to figure stuff out. You know, the signage isn't great, but it's okay. I think that one is in the former East Germany, East Berlin.
Ooh.
So it's a
All
little
right.
grim, a little grim.
Yep. Sure.
Not the hotel itself, but the surrounding areas. And then, because then so I had no set, right? So I showed
Right.
up and I've got nothing's happening. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna wander around Berlin, check it out. Go to Checkpoint Charlie.
Oh,
Very, very powerful. Seeing,
yeah.
you know, the, just place where people were shot to death for climbing
Yes.
and trying to come over, you know. And they have a really nice, and it's also one of those things that you and I were alive and we remember reading about people getting shot climbing over the Berlin Wall, right?
Right. Just like, and it was the Cold War was real, and that wall was dumb, and they did their darndest to stop people from climbing over it. And Checkpoint Charlie was the U.S. Russian, where 2 guys were. It's sort of North Korea, South Korea now. You know.
I think so. Yeah. And it just to me, it's like a situation like 9/11 where you're like, oh yeah, I remember the before it and now it's the after. And to a whole lot of people, that's just it's history as much as fucking Napoleon, you know.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. Anyway,
the dog, by the way, hang on.
Oh yeah.
The damn dog needs in.
Yeah. Anytime I start talking about Germany, dogs get activated.
Right. Success, whatever.
So yeah, so that was cool. And then I get a DM. Somebody hooked me up. This guy named Bob, but his real name was Sean or Paul. I forget. His username was something that wasn't his actual name. And because I just said, hey, I'm in Germany. A headliner's in town. You know, hoping somebody would see it. Somebody saw it.
Saw it.
Tara Kilbride put me on her show. I have so many female comics, by the way. We're backloaded now for comics of the week for like at least a month and a half. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Tara put me on her show at the Wall Comedy Club, which is this little room. It was in a really cute part of Berlin where you're like, oh, this is what I thought Berlin would be like, right? Just, you know,
cool.
funky, weird, Brooklyn-y, you know, it's like, it feels like Brooklyn, right?
And it's called the Wall, as in the Berlin Wall?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah. And very small room. They can only run the air conditioning during the intermission because you can't hear over it.
Okay.
And they can't for some. I said, well, why don't you just turn up the monitors and run the air conditioning all the time? And she said there's some kind of noise thing. And then if the neighbors complain if the show's too loud, so they're working around all these constrictions, right? So like I did 10 minutes, 5 minutes in, I'm sweating, right? Because I'm in the second half of the show. It's full, whatever. But it was a fun show.
All Americans or Brits or Germans? What are we looking at?
Let's see.
Who's doing stand-up?
Israeli moved there, named Nir. There 2 Americans, Tyrone, I forget his last name, but he lives in Berlin. There's a lot of Americans living there. That may have even started stand-up there. Like, and then Tara is an American, but I think she started there. I'm starting to mix people's backstories up too.
Sure. Right. Well, it's been a week. It's been a busy. Yeah.
So it was really cool. Go back, and then I go to Luxembourg, Luxembourg.
Well, how was the audience though? Was the audience like all expats or
No, it's a lot of English speakers, expats. There were,
okay.
you know, yeah, it was a mix of expats and a lot of people just speak English here, and they're
Right.
into English stand up,
Yeah.
English speaking
Yeah,
stand up.
yeah. That's what I
So,
heard.
yeah, so that was,
So Luxembourg,
and
yeah.
oh, by the way, in Berlin, comics are doing 2, 3 spots a night.
Okay. Those are
So
your people.
things are happening,
Uh
right? Like somebody
yeah.
left, like a comic on the first part of the show. I didn't even get to see him and say goodbye because he left because he had another set. I'm like, oh, all right, cool.
Good.
Luxembourg is incredible. Um, all the public transportation is free. Oh, I posted this tweet. This happened. So I'm leaving Berlin to go to Luxembourg, right? I grab I buy a ticket, and I head up a 2-story escalator with my gigantic suitcase and all my shit and a backpack. Everything's heavy and hurt and painful,
Right.
right?
Right.
My ticket falls out of my fingers and lands on the ground by the escalator, right? And I'm traveling
Oh.
away from it. It's busy. I'm
Yeah.
just watching it going, fuck. And I can come back around, but that'll take
Yeah.
a minute. Who knows
Yeah.
who's going to step on it, grab it, it's going to, or just float away, right? It's like the paper bag and that movie with Kevin Spacey and what's her face, American
Yeah,
Beauty, right?
American. Yeah.
So a German woman is about to step on the escalator, and I said to her, "Hey, can you grab that for me, my ticket?" And she goes, "No."
No, she had no interest in doing that.
Unbelievable. I loved
Mm-hmm.
it. And so I just went back around, and it was still there, and I grabbed it. It was all was well. Get
Always
on the
well.
wrong train.
Oh.
Apparently I bought what I thought I bought was 2 tickets, and I bought one, and so the train I was on I wasn't supposed to be on, so I had to get out at the station called Halle,
Yeah.
and then pay for a full price ticket. It was just like, oh my fucking god,
Right.
just lots of last minute full price shit.
Yep.
So get to Luxembourg, you know, lugging the shit up the stairs, and then I get there and it's get on the tram for free, get on everything for free. You don't have to worry about tickets if it's your. The other thing, like especially in Germany, there's like 15 different ticket boxes, and you're like, I don't know which train this is on. Like I'm really confused if I'm buying the right ticket or not.
Right.
And then you're on a train and you're going to get yelled at by a conductor in German. No, thank you. Right? No worries in Luxembourg.
Right.
So I get to the hotel. I'm staying at this place called the Grand Cravat Hotel.
Wow.
And
it's a really nice tie.
Incredible.
Yeah. Okay.
It ends up being under 200 a night, which is not bad.
Nope.
And it's an old timey, at least 100 years old.
Okay.
I met a cravat who's like, third, fourth generation cravat who's still running the hotel.
Wait, that's their last name?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Because cravat is also a word for tie, for a necktie. Okay.
No, I didn't know what that meant, and but I thought.
But it turns out it's a family name.
Yeah, it's a family name. The guy at the front desk has been there 32 years. The whole front desk is men in their 70s who have been there since they were very young, right? Checking people in, whatever. And maybe a couple young guys, but they worked like at 1 a.m. It's a lift to get to the hotel. It's not an elevator; it's a lift, right? You got to open a door, a wood door, all that kind of stuff. The room's great. It's tiny, but it's like really crisp and clean and old fashioned. Some stuff super old, like the lock, but other stuff super new, like the tile on the bathroom floor. So it's a great mix. And it's right near the square, the town square.
Okay.
Right?
So walkable.
The Place des Armes.
Yeah.
Oh, totally walkable. Totally walkable. So I was supposed to do a guest set on the Saturday night show and then headline my own show on Sunday.
Right.
So at Carlitos. And Carlitos is the name of the comic and the club owner and the club. So I get a DM like at midday. Show's canceled. Saturday show's canceled because there's like Luxembourg in the summertime, they put on free shit every single night, it seems like, and they're always just they're trying to get tourists in there, right?
Right.
So Saturday night in the big park, what I think is their version of Central Park, the Philharmonic and 2 opera singers do a 3-hour concert for free. And so it's like, oh, no one's, the other thing, the club, Carlito said it's on the one bad street in Luxembourg City.
Okay. Oh, is it the dangerous part of Luxembourg City?
Yeah. They had a shooting there 10 years ago, whatever.
Right,
but
right.
Still, there's like one drug dealer on the street.
Yeah.
But still, people are like, so sometimes he has a hard time getting there. Yeah. So anyway, so we all just went to this concert and it was incredible. It was incredible. Emma and Samir, who are the other comedians who had the Saturday night show. She's American from Minnesota.
Okay.
I think she knows who you are. You may not know her because you may have left before but she lives in Berlin now. And Samir also lives in Berlin. He's originally from Egypt, right? Okay. So it's just like this. Everyone's got a different backstory. It's really cool. So then the Sunday night show is my show. We have people. There's nothing else going on. There's nothing competing with us. And Samir and Emma do sets, and they're great. We have a Jackie and Laurie listener showed up to the Luxembourg show.
Yes, that's who we're talking about.
Yes, a guy drove in from France to see the Luxembourg. Yeah, so people came in. It was kind of cool. It was a fun show. And then other people just wandered in. Whatever. You know how shows are. Whatever.
Yep.
That was really cool. And then we all hung out pretty late, in the club, and some of the Irish guys that were heckling, but friendly heckling earlier, just hung out, and it was just like, wow, this is really fun. Just like, because I don't have a child to get.
Did you?
No. They were in their 20s. No, but I mean, I'm like, I gotta get home. My son's waiting for me. He's up. He's awake. He's worried about me. No one to worry about. I can stay all night. Yeah. Stay all night. It's amazing, right? So then I just stay an extra night in Luxembourg. The pool, I found an incredible 50-meter pool.
I saw that. It looked like a pool. What makes a 50-meter pool better than any other 50-meter pool?
Because it's long. And
there's usually not 50 meters. They're something else.
25 meters, 25 meters. 50 meters Olympic size. So it's like it's big boy time. Okay? Yep. It's not just little attempts at pools. It's a big pool. They've had Olympians swim in the pool, meets and all that kind of stuff. Great pool. $4, €4. And the free tram goes right from the hotel to the pool. Like, it couldn't be easier. Like, I felt like I was given a handwritten invitation to move there. Okay.
Right. And how many days did you spend in Luxembourg?
Just three days in each city.
3 days in each city. Okay.
Not each city. I was like, I could be here a month at least.
Yeah.
And just settle in and enjoy. And so then I came to Paris yesterday, got on the right train. That was all good. Finally. And I got in really late last night. So I just went to the club to hang out. Kevin Nealon had just been there, but he didn't hang out. He left.
Okay.
Like, he just left. He said to tell you hi. Okay. I mean, I got there 15 minutes later. You couldn't hang out. Whatever. So, and it's called Red Comedy Club.
Okay.
And it's downstairs, and it's like in it feels like you're in a giant wine barrel. Yeah. And it's great. It's a great room, great space.
Oh, cool.
Color, lit red, colored red. It's really cool. And so I'm hanging out with the two producers, Holly and Yvonne. They're also comedians. They're just they're working with Don't Tell. They produce their own shows. They're just all over Paris, like everyone. They're all pop-ups. I met this incredible, really cool comic named Wafa, who's I think we'll figure it out. But her handle might be hijabi comedian or hijabi stand-up or something.
Okay,
so funny. And she brought her two kids to the show, and her son, one of her sons, looks a lot like my son. And I was like, just staring at him,
How old is he?
Think I'm weird.
Like, is he also 17? Oh, he's 12. Okay.
But I'm like, oh my God. And then I show them a picture of my son, and everyone's like, I go, there's a Mexican version of you in California. Just so you know.
Just so you know.
Yeah. So tonight they came, Wafa and her kids came to the show. They had a great time, right?
Okay.
They're just like really cool kids. So what happened was tonight, during what was supposed to be my show at 9:00, was a Euros soccer match between France and Spain.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's like it's like having a show in LA during the Lakers during it, like maybe the playoffs or something, right?
Right. Yes.
It's just
right.
like, what's the point?
It's serious. Yes.
So, and no one could have predicted this. This has happened, as they're moving up the ranks, right? So,
Yep.
don't tell, canceled the show without telling us. All of a sudden, I was getting DMs on Instagram from people saying, "Hey, I'm trying to buy a ticket for your show tonight, and I can't." And so that happened. So what these ladies did, Holly and Yvonne, is they scrambled it. They just put together a show at this other venue, the Red Room, which I wasn't supposed to be at. I was supposed to be at a different one. And apparently, I didn't know this, they were barking people in all day. And we had a nice full, our show was before the match started. We changed his time to 7:30.
Yeah.
And it was a nice house. And it was really fun. It was like a great, fun show. And I was like, God dang it. Like, everything kept almost collapsing.
Right.
Much
but it
like
didn't.
America right now.
And then, but then it worked. And then you had good shows. How much time did you do tonight?
Tonight was 40.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And then tomorrow I'm doing some weird PowerPoint show, which I think is like it reminds me of a set list where like they throw a PowerPoint at it. I don't know. I just said yes.
Right. Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
Stage time.
Yeah.
5 minutes is 5 minutes.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's Paris. Why not? So tomorrow I'm gonna swim in a Paris pool because I swam in a Berlin pool. I swam in
and now you can
a pool in Berlin. So I'll have pools in all three countries. And Jackie, being there made you go, oh, this is doable. Like we could move there and
you could
settle in.
Yeah.
Well, anyone could. You can settle in and you can make a name for yourself. And there's so many fucking cities here that are doing English speaking comedy.
It's
and
huge. It's blown up. It's just blown up.
More and more popular.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just, a lot of Americans don't know about it. And
right. So why are you telling them? What's happening? Okay. What just happened? So.
Anyway, so tomorrow is a day where I don't have an official show, just a PowerPoint show. So I'm going to do a few things, and then I leave on Thursday, and I go back to New York, and I have shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday on that.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you when you were coming back. So, you fly back to the U.S. on Thursday. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
All right.
Right.
Cool. And then you'll have a chance to at least sleep during the day, and then.
My sleep was so fucked for 2 days in Berlin. I was like waking up at 1 a.m., like wide awake, and then crashing at 2 p.m. It fucked. Right. That's the other thing that fucked Berlin a little bit for me is that I didn't until the very last day. I wasn't even on the time schedule of the people remotely. Right. I was out by hours every day.
By half a day. Yeah,
at least.
That's unfortunate. Well, I can't top that. I had a pretty good week in stand up though. Not bad.
Yes.
And you remember Ricky Lindholm? You know Ricky Lindholm.
Yes.
Yeah. Half of Garfunkel and Oates.
Exactly.
She's got a new so her and Kate Minucci. Weirdly enough, I worked with Kate 2 weeks ago doing some table read. That was interesting. And then Ricky texted me out of the blue and was like, hey, I'm doing a new music video. Can you be a cameo? I'm having people lip sync. So
neat.
I was like, super fun. Yeah. So, Robin Tran was there and River Butcher and me and damn it for spacing. But that was 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. Yeah.
Right.
Because I had stuff that I was supposed to do. Oh, I had a problem with my Dork Forest. I was supposed to record a Dork Forest on Saturday, and the woman forgot, like you do. And so in the 11th, like as I was thinking, I think this woman forgot. I gotta just through my website an email saying, I'd love to be on the Dork Forest if that's ever a thing. And so I emailed him back and I said, what are you doing right now? And so just a guy from San Diego who was into coffee. So, Tuesday's episode yesterday and now was about coffee. And he was talking about the origin of coffee culture he lives in San Diego, but he talked about San Francisco and this book. Have you ever been, okay, so San Francisco, you will love this because you love San Francisco, but I don't know if you ever, like, I think you moved out before Phil's and Blue Bottle and Verve.
Yeah, right. I did,
yeah. Yeah, so Blue Bottle, I guess, was one of the original coffee culture, and now it's a chain, and there's even a couple in LA, and Nestle bought it.
Yeah, they all get bought. I think somebody else was bought like by some evil German, and maybe Intelligentsia was bought.
Oh, Intelligentsia. But the fact, I mean, Nestle is cartoonishly evil. I mean, they're the people who own water rights on purpose and then cut people off. They're out of their goddamn minds. And so, but whatever. So I did that. I did 5 sets at Flappers this weekend, which was good. Nice. That was good. Just back and forth, main room, main room, Yoo-hoo, main room. And got to work on the driving bit, have a new beat in the driving bit that I forgot to do the 5th time. The 5th time I was like, no, you forgot the reason you got up. And because I've been working on the 2, just the driving bit and the Karen bit. I think I've almost committed to doing a new album next year. And that's good because it just means that I just have to find the first 30 that's ready and then work on another 15 to 30 that's there but isn't done at all. Just I'll give myself 9 months to finish it. I'm not in any rush, though I'm kind of in a rush. Just because a good 10 minutes of those jokes are about masks. Have you been masking up in Europe?
Yeah, all right. I did get a vaccine a week ago, and tonight was a little tough. But otherwise I'm masking pretty good. I did, do my nasal sprays, and I put Neosporin in my nostrils, and I did a lot of prep stuff, but it was, I don't know, we're just all sitting around talking, and
yeah,
it was a little tough. I was like, please God, let my vaccine do what it's supposed to do, plus all the other stuff,
Yeah.
It was kind of like in an open airy situation.
Well, that's good.
Other than tonight, I've been very good at it.
Cool. And is anybody else masking, or is it just you? It's just you. Okay. The other show I did, we can move on from but my mask bit is a good, and it leads into a bunch of stuff. And I'm gonna do 40 minutes at the Dynasty in August. I gotta, yeah.
What are you doing at the Dynasty?
I think the 9th. What they give you?
A Laurie and Friends. Are you doing it and Friends? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They think of us together now. They're just like
Europe. They think of us as separate. That's it.
That'll be great. What's your date for Dynasty?
The 3rd. Well, just confirmed it on email tonight.
Right. August 3rd. Yeah. And then mine's August 9th. Oh, maybe I should push it. I don't know. Unless people want to come 2 weeks later. I was going to have you on, my friends, but now you're not my friend. Now we should have other people.
Now we're enemies. Yes.
Now we're enemies. We're arching. And then last night, so today we're recording this Tuesday, right before the day it drops. But I think it was Sunday night. I did The Crow with Laura House and Jeannie Whitley. Do you know Jeannie Whitley?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Did I just work with her? I feel like I did. She was very funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did her closer as my closer. I just said, because I was working on this really long new bit because that crow crowd was amazing. They were just that you could do whatever you wanted. So I worked on the longest altercation version of this bit that I'm working on. And then I got the light, and then I finished up the part of it, and I was like, there's really no time for me to go into another bit to close on. So let me just remind you of Jeannie Whitley's bit. and how funny it was.
Cool.
I hope I'm saying Whitley right, because she was so freaking funny.
I don't think there's many alts when it comes to Whitley. Jackie,
it might
I think
be
you're good.
Whitley. I thought it was, I think it's Whitley.
We'll have to have it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So she, but it was great. And then Laura did like 10 to 12, never heard it, almost all brand new stuff about her relationship stuff and some body stuff, and it was amazing.
She's so funny.
She's so funny.
Oh, there's so many fucking funny people.
Right.
Jesus.
Andy one time, many years ago, said to me after he saw Laura House, she has the best timing on stage of anyone I've ever heard. And I said, I am right here.
Right. Boo. No. I like Laura too, but that is unacceptable.
Just in that moment, it felt like a lot. And too funny. We're going to dinner tonight with Augie Smith and Henry Phillips. We're having a social moment with their wives, and so that's going to be a comedy hang, which is fun. And then I picked 20 tomatoes yesterday. Actually, no. Go ahead.
Do you follow Jim Gaffigan on Instagram?
Yes, but he hasn't come up in my,
He has a crazy garden.
Yeah. Vegetables.
And he's been posting about it. Yeah. You should check it.
I should totally check it out. We've got, it's been going really well. Yesterday, a fucking spider mite was on my hand, and that made me want to chop it off my hand. Just because they're just so creepy looking.
Where are they?
They eat tomato plants. They suck all the energy out of tomato and whatever plants, but in this case, tomato plants. And boo. So I can't believe we're at 27 minutes. I'm out.
Of stuff to talk about. I'm exhausted.
I bet.
I'm exhausted. I have some new stuff inspired by the trip,
Oh, that's good. Did you film?
Let's see. I think there are films of the first two sets of The Wall and Luxembourg, and then I don't know if they filmed the Red. I'm not sure. I can ask.
Right.
What was interesting is Carlito. So while we're all hanging out in Luxembourg after the show, he opens Opus Clips. Have you heard of that app?
Not offhand.
AI. Okay. So what it does, it'll caption the whole hour like in, I don't know, seconds or something, right? Maybe, I think so. But it also it automatically moves with you. So instead of a static shot, if you lean to the right, it'll go with you.
Oh, it's a filming app?
It's just it's a captioning app. So you import your video into it, and then I guess it just kind of knows to follow the
person. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so so the clip he just knocked out a clip while we were all talking about whatever bullshit you talk about after a show. He was on his gigantic computer, just knocking out a clip of me doing some crowd work with the guy that stayed after the Irish guy. So it was kind of fun. It was I was like, God, that's way faster than I feel like my technique is, so I got to check that out now. He said it's like 20 a month.
Right.
All these 20 a month apps.
Sure. Everything's, and then Andy was telling me, because he reads a lot, because he's a game designer, he reads a lot about AI, and he said that the jump from AI 1 to AI 4, which is where we're at, is exponential, obviously, but it's crazy how, like, AI 1, you're just like, you have to type in the word banana and it shows you a bunch of bananas. Now it will sing a song about bananas for you, and it sounds like it came from an actual person. So like the AI is just, it's science fiction level. We can only hope it'll go Star Trek, not Aliens or whatever.
I don't know what to make of that. I mean, yes, it's like, I appreciate that it's easier to edit and it's cheaper. Like, I couldn't afford to hire an editor to do all this stuff. But then it's like, well, someone's not getting editing work because of all these clips. A
Oh,
lot of people
entirely.
would, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know.
this and then somebody told me on Facebook, you have to turn off the AI summation. Like there's a if Facebook has this, like if your thread, if there's a lot of responses to a post, it'll summarize the responses for you.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So like I put those three cow pictures of my dad because I've discontinued the
Oh, I
dad
saw
shirt.
one of them. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, so which one do you like? Plus I also put it on the email. I did an email. If you are not on my email list, join my email list, JackieCation.com. It's harder to get on that email list than to get off because
I almost said that.
yeah, because
I know your jingle, Jackie.
that's the jingle. That's the pitch because there's an unsubscribe on every one and I don't check and figure out who unsubscribed. 3 people unsubscribed and 5 people subscribed. So that's a net win and who cares? But it is. So I'm going this weekend. I am going to Bloomington. So I leave on Thursday just to get there. And shows are Friday and Saturday, 7 and 9. Please come. Bloomington, Indiana, the best city in Indiana. Though if you live in another city in Indiana, come fight me. Just buy a ticket first. And then I sent out I'm doing advertising on Facebook.
Yeah, tell me. I'll tell you my thing after you finish yours. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm doing advertising, 3 days of advertising, $50 a day, to Facebook, Indianapolis and Bloomington.
Mm-hmm.
I sent out the email list to however many people are on the email list, about 3,000. Don't know who lives in Indiana. I did a Pandora ad today. That's free.
I dropped the ball on that Pandora shit.
Yeah, I forgot about it. But what I was writing things down and wrote down MailChimp, Pandora. And then I remembered. And so a typo in the email, by the way, wrote July 5th and 6th for the Bloomington, and it's the 11th and 12th. But if you click on the link, it's the 11th and 12th. Someone emailed me and said that it was wrong. And I was like, and Andy said, you should send out another email. And I said, oh no, people will be genuinely irritated if I send another email. I think I'll let the chips fall where they may with that. Hopefully people come. And then
I do think on your next newsletter that you send out, say I got the date wrong on a previous email and I did not send you a correction email, and I just want you to give me credit for that. Now,
yeah, that's not a bad, because between like Melanie VC and the mailing list stuff, she's like, you can be like, I usually write like something personal. I write like a little quip or an anecdote or something, and she was like, yeah, there's not a lot of room for that, so keep it tight. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, they're already following you on social media. If you want to tell a story on social media. And but it takes like an hour for me to update all of the different parts because she did the template. And so I have to change the art and I have to change the images and correct the links and all these things. So what I should do is do that, save as a draft, go away, and the next morning look at it again and proofread it. So, but it's a project. So yeah, so I have ads for that. I also have ads for San Francisco coming out, and I have ads for Portland and Eugene. So I am spending $450 on ads in the next 2 weeks.
Jackie,
I don't know what will happen, but
I know
I haven't tried. So let's see. I mean, you got to try, right? What did you do?
Yeah, so I did. So I'm doing Manteca, the Deaf Puppy, and Manteca. I got to make a reel in front of the Eiffel Tower for that too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I got to do that tomorrow. So what I did is I took a reel today, and I boosted it.
Okay.
Just a clip, a stand-up clip. I boosted it, and I sent it. I boosted it, and you know how you pick the city where you want it to go
Yeah.
to. I just picked Manteca, so I just want to
You
see
didn't
Steph.
pick Modesto or Stockton?
No, Manteca. The club's in Manteca.
I know, but it's in
It
between
didn't offer
Manteca and
me. It didn't offer me that within 50 miles thing. I don't know. It wasn't.
okay.
That wasn't offered in that selection.
Okay.
So, and that's going to run for 6 days, and then a
And
week
how
from
much?
now, like $7 a day.
Okay.
Okay. A week from now, I'm going to take another clip and do the same thing with Manteca. And then hopefully I'll have enough followers from Manteca that will make a difference. Or maybe they'll go, oh my gosh, she's over here. Because then myself and the deaf puppy will work together to collab on, like, hey, I'm here July 25th, 26th, 27th. And maybe some people will be like, that's that lady from that clip I just saw. I like her. Click.
Yeah. Okay.
So for Bloomington, I did the same thing with a different clip. Like with Manteca, I took, because it has a higher, I think it has a higher Hispanic population. So I took clips about my son, and
Right.
I'm putting those into Manteca. Bloomington, college town, older crowd, right? So
Yeah.
so I took the Gen X joke, which is about
That
me
blew
talking
up.
about Gen
Yep.
X men, and that one I'm doing for a week, and then I'll try to do a couple and see if I can like get some Bloomington followers there, and then do the same thing when I get close to the date, like, hey, I'm here, and
Yeah.
hopefully have a cool collab on that stuff. I'm sure they will, because they seem pretty interested in that. Unlike other clubs that just drop the fucking ball completely and then get mad that you didn't sell out by yourself, even though they didn't accept your
Right.
collab on Instagram.
Yeah. Punchline did a collab with me
Oh, they're good
today,
about it. Yeah.
and but I just looked at what I'm getting paid. It's yeah, it's not good. I don't know what I did. I just said yes, I think. That's what
Right.
so
Yeah.
but the yeah, I think it'd be nice if she was mellow about me working other stuff in the Bay Area, since I'm clearly not a draw, right? So I'm not going to be taking anybody from those big cities, and not, like Seattle and Minneapolis, and they should not care if you work the other clubs in the cities, but whatever. But it's just a 90-day. It's a 3-month. It's not a 6-month. In Minneapolis, actually, Lewis does have a thing, 6 months between doing House of Comedy and Acme, just and only for headliners and not for one-nighters.
Yeah.
Not for like Throckmorton or anything. He's been in the hospital. He's really, really sick.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's been very ill. And he's out of the hospital now. But he had yeah, so think good thoughts, man. He's his sister got him to go to the hospital over the phone from Hong Kong.
Oh
She
my
was talking to
God.
him on the phone, and she said, "How are you feeling?" And he said, "I waited too long to answer." And she said, "Go to the hospital right now." And if he hadn't gone, he would have died. So
Why?
it's long, and it's not my story, but he is getting better, and that's the good news. And but I will say that
fucking men do not think they need to go to, they don't think they're sick. They don't think anything's wrong with them. That's what kills them. Their hubris.
Right. I am a week into taking Lipitor.
Oh, is that statins?
That's the statin thing because of my cholesterol.
I take that.
Well, yeah, but that was the thing I didn't want to take, that I was going to change my diet. Guess who didn't change their diet? Me.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking it, and it hasn't done anything. I can't, it's not, but maybe it's doing something inside of me, but not
you can't tell
outside
you're
of
on
me.
You cannot tell that a person can't tell that they're on statins. You're not going to feel it. I've been on them since the aneurysm.
Okay. So weird. Yeah, so 4th of July week at Acme, it was Tim Slagle, John DeBoer, and Greg Fiddler. Now, John DeBoer and Greg Fiddler are Minneapolis comics. Greg Fiddler, I've told you this story before. He lived here in Minneapolis. He lived here in Los Angeles. He worked for Talk Soup for, I don't know, the whole time when Joel McHale. And but his writing story, this is the writing story I told you that you were like, but it's been 6 years. I'll tell it again. We got time. It's a clock eater.
I hear it.
And so Fid, during the 90s, David Letterman had what he called a fax contract with joke writers. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah. So you could fax in, if you got in to the fax contract group, you could fax in 10 jokes a day. And it paid $500 a week.
I'm curious as to how many women were on that. I've never heard of a woman saying that she was allowed to do that.
I'm going to guess a big fat 0. But Greg Fiddler was on it. And so, but 10 jokes, 5 days a week for $500. But he could do it. No. And he could do it from the road, though.
Yeah.
So he'd get up super early.
I guess.
It was supplemental. Yeah. And then he would write, but he would write like 20 jokes. And some of them were better than others. And he took the ones that he thought Letterman would like and he would fax them. The ones that he didn't like, also in the 90s, Leno was accepting jokes per fax.
Oh,
and he would pay him per joke if he used it, or if he thought it was good and thought would think about using it. So $50 per joke. And Fid was interviewed by the Star Tribune about his writing career.
Oh, I remember this now.
Yeah. And he told that story to the Star Tribune and they printed it. And moments later, he was fired from David Letterman. And a day later, Jay Leno called him on the phone and said, hey, that wasn't smart, man. He goes, yeah, I guess it wasn't. And Leno goes, well, I'm doing Mystic Lake, which is a casino up from Minneapolis. He goes, I'm doing this Indian casino in about a week. Come and hang out and we'll talk. And so he went to Mystic Casino and Leno says, hey, I have one of my writers is going on parental leave for like 12 weeks or 16 weeks or something. You could have his job. It'll get you into the guild. It'll get you $2,500 a week. So you'll have a stake. So you can move to LA. You cannot have his job. He's coming back. I like him. But he is having a baby, so that he's going to do this thing. And Fid's like, okay. So he comes. And my favorite part is, so Fiddler, we're hanging out. He's showing us, different stuff he does with Leno and stuff. It was before I met you and before I knew the late night monologue grind. And so that was my first introduction. And, but he, and the only thing that was funny that Fid told me, he said, the funniest thing about it was that when that guy came back, I was so sure that Leno was going to keep me. And he was like, no, I gave you a leg up, man. And then, so he met and married a zookeeper from Los Angeles, who was originally from Los Angeles. Yeah, this story it's got legs, you guys. This could last another 3 or 4 minutes. We're only at 40 minutes. So, he falls in love and marries this woman who is Australian, works at the zoo, and they have a kid. And then 2016 happens, and she has a small meltdown about one Captain Knobjob, and says, "We're moving back
to Australia."
By the way, yeah, to Australia. I went to his wedding, by the way, in Sydney. Andy and I went to their wedding, and I picked up a set the night of his wedding. I asked him, I said, would it be so the wedding's in the afternoon and then there's dinner. What's happening around 7?
Oh my God.
Is it just going right into a date? And he goes, yeah, it goes right into a dance. And I was like, how would you feel about me doing a set? And he goes, I would feel fine about it. I think you should. And so I took a cab and did a set in the outskirts of Sydney that very night. Yes. And but anyway, they've lived in Australia since 2016, so for 8 years. Mm-hmm. And is that right? That would have been.
Is he writing on a show?
No, he hasn't been able to get work, but he's working on opening a club. And his son, it must have been longer. They must have, his son must have been born a couple of years before, because his son just turned 12. And, but he came to see his family. He's like the youngest of 7, who are all in Minnesota and Minneapolis. And Lewis gave him a week. And he's like, I don't have a headliner set, so I'll do whatever, Lewis. So he did 3. DeBoer, it was, and plus it would only be a Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Lewis just had Schlegel, John DeBoer, and Fid. They were all supposed to do 30s. And Greg brought his son, and his son, who's Australian, right? And he said, there's 2 things I want to do when I come to America. I want to go to a Walmart, and I want to shoot a gun. And so they were at Walmart when I talked to him last. And I said, will they let you take a minor to a gun range? He goes, Jackie, all of my relatives have guns. And then, and he said, in Australia, him and his son both took a gun safety course in Australia before they left. So here's the scoop, though. Fid's like, I have to go first. I don't have 30. I'm going to do as much as I can. You guys can take all the time. And so he went first, and they're just doing tag team. So he introduces, this is on Wednesday, he introduces John. John goes up. And then Greg goes to White Castle because he hasn't had a sack of rats in 10 years. Disgusting White Castle food. He comes back. There were only 40, 45 people in the audience. Schlegel walked half of them.
Oh.
Almost 20 people. Because Tim Schlegel is very much a button pusher. Like, I had to unfriend him. Like, he's a tinfoil hat wearing. He was a libertarian for a long time, but now he's just like, he's doing, and he did some, and I guess the final straw was he did a joke, and that's air quotes, people, about how they might replace Biden with Michelle Obama, and then that she'd get the woman vote if they could prove that she was a woman and not a trans woman, which, by the way, would make her a woman. And there's no punchline.
I mean, I don't know him. I know many comics like that, though.
You don't have to know him. It's
I'm not hopping on the I mean, it's just
no. And the thing about Schlegel, as I was talking to the guys, John and Greg, I was like, yeah, I mean, in person, it's, and I was talking to the staff, and they're like, no, he's a button pusher in person. He's it's just hard to hang out with those guys, because they're not helping, in my opinion. And this is entirely my opinion. And Tim can be mad at me, his number's in my phone. It's in my phone so that when he calls me, I don't have to answer. I've known him for 30 years. It's hard to not still be polite to guys like that, right?
Because I've known him too.
Yeah.
The longer you're in comedy, the higher the odds are you're going to be friends with somebody, or at least acquaintances, who goes off the deep end.
Yeah.
But not that they're in a mental hospital. They're just like cuckoo. And
yeah, they get really mad about their careers. It's why I fight bitterness. Yeah. It's why I fight it every day. Because it's, the thing is when I get, when I feel that I should have stuff because I've been doing stand-up for 40 years, that's a slippery slope. That's just going to get me, like, if I can look at a Jeannie Whitley and go, yay, look at that joke, if I can look at Laura House, who's been doing it, 25, 30 years too, and go, comedy is good. Comedy is fun. And I want it to be fun until my dying breath, Yeah,
me too. I mean,
How's the material in Europe?
It's hard to be on Instagram and watching everyone's careers and just
because what it looks like.
And then I'm like, maybe my career looks great. I have no idea. If you guys know that I'm losing about $2,000 on this trip, does that look great to you?
Yeah, it does because you're in Paris,
That's
and
true. All right.
you're. Have
But
you
I
had a
mean,
croissant? Did you have a croissant? Quickly
oh,
digressing.
Jackie.
Talk to me about the food.
And I've been sent to a crepe place tomorrow, which I'll do
Okay.
on the left. Holly hooked me up with that.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
I've had crepes. I just had a burger. I had an incredible burger.
Like a
Um,
hamburger? That was incredible.
yeah, yeah.
I
At
bet.
this little restaurant that's open. Everyone's awake. They're probably still eating right now. Everyone is up and eating. This everyone's awake at 2 a.m.
Right.
out having coffee and conversations and smoking. It is very much what you think it's going to be,
Yeah, we
But
went
I
to a
love
board. We went to a board game store on the left bank when we were there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was amazing. So, and then we went to the French Resistance Museum, and you probably haven't had any time to, like, you're just sort of catching up, right? Because of all this travel.
Right. I haven't done any museum. The closest
Tomorrow
I did
you're going to
was
go look at the
Checkpoint
Eiffel.
Charlie.
Yeah.
So tomorrow swim. That was my thing. I wanted to swim in all three countries.
Yeah.
Okay. Swim. Go to this great place. Go do this weird PowerPoint show, and I guess go to the Eiffel and do a promo reel for the Manteca Deaf Puppy Club.
What time's the PowerPoint? Is that a daytime or a
I
nighttime?
think it's 5 p.m. I thought it was like an earliest show. I got to check.
Yeah. And then you fly out tomorrow night, or
no, I fly out Thursday at noon. So I probably have to wake up here at 9, get to the airport by 10, and then I have a long day. I have it's an 8-hour flight to New York, 8.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
JetBlue, I'm using points on this one.
Good.
But they still charge me over $100 for something. Some tax thing, I don't know. But
I'm using points for a rental car in Bloomington.
Well, okay.
Just because I love Jared and the youth of the Bloomington Comedy Attic that come to pick me up.
It is terrifying.
I'm just gonna rent a car. I'm gonna
Did
use.
You just get your driver's license? Okay.
Right, you're 20, and I get that, and I like you. So, yeah.
Last
so how's
time
this
I was there? Oh, it's fun. I mean, it's good. People are good, and
good.
It's
Oh, we didn't do a comic of the week.
Oh, that's right. Hold on. Let me. It's Hold on. Again, we have many to choose from,
and I'm gonna just tell Kyle, who is working, to just pick a spot at 30, and to take a break.
Okay, so this comic, we just worked together in Luxembourg. Her name is Emma Dalenberg. Do you know her? She's from Minneapolis.
Oh, right, right. Like, how do you spell her last name?
Dalenberg.
No, Emma Dalenberg.
She's 6'1", and they do a lot of these crazy, silly shows. And so she was on a stand-up show of short versus tall. Like,
theme comedy.
How do you figure it out, and who wins? And I don't know. It's funny. But she's very funny.
Good. Emma Dalenberg. So what's her handle? Yeah.
Emma D Comedy. EMMAD Comedy. M Mad Comedy.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also she, I was looking at her, she has almost 70,000 followers, but she also has only posted 160 times. I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? And she had a couple things just go viral, and that was that. Yeah.
Right. That'll happen. It's how's your count? How's your Instagram? Because you're posting, you're doing good.
It's let me, it's kind of weird. It's right now at this exact moment I'm at 55K.
All right. They've changed the reels where you can't see at a glance how many views you have. Yeah, you have to go into insights. It's kind of annoying. Yeah. So, and the punchline picked a dad joke. All right. The God's Waiting Room DVD player joke, which makes me want to bring DVDs. Yeah.
Yeah. My goal, I would love to see if I could get to 100 by the end of the year.
Yeah. I'm at
That's possible.
85.5.
I know you're doing great.
Yeah. I don't know if it's been all this year though. So, but I haven't posted a clip in a while. I used one of the Snapchat filters. Snapchat has the best filters, Laurie. It's a filter of a candle where my almost immediately it gets rid of the top of your head because it burns away and then it's just your talking mouth. And
No,
I put it
Jackie, we're
everywhere.
grown-ups. Oh, for God's sakes.
Are you kidding? The hot dog's one of my favorites. The toilet roll, they took that out. That's no longer an option. Very sad. Tampon, little too on the nose. So,
Wow.
pretty psyched about that. I had to talk down a couple of people off of ledges politically. 2 male comics in their, I would say, early 40s were like, I have so much despair. I have so much depression. And I'm like, that's not going to help. What you have to do is you have to just breathe. Do a golden key Emmett Fox if you can. Just
I don't know what that means.
Well, that's because you'd have to Google Emmett Fox golden key, and I recommend you do. What I did do on my mailing, I did.
Other people don't know what it is. Just drop a reference and tell us to Google it.
I totally did in my mailing. I did. I said the Pandora's box. Did you remember the parable of Pandora's box?
Yes, we all know that one.
Because it's. I think I might have mentioned it last week on the show. Is that because Pandora was given a box that she was told not to open, and that she couldn't handle it, and so she opened it, and inside of it was chaos and fear and war and famine and all these things, and then and so on my mailing list, I was like, but always remember what's at the bottom of the box. It's hokey to say it, but the thing that's at the bottom of the box is hope, and that's the Greek parable of Pandora's box. And so
I just saw a tweet with poll numbers, and I'm like, holy fuck!
You can't do polls. You can't do polls because what the polls are doing, they're turning it into a horse race. And that's, I mean, the thing is, I'm not saying if you're into polls and you love watching them, what I'm saying is what they do to people is they make them want to vote for a winner or think that they should vote third party because it's not gonna matter. And guess what? Vote anyway and vote for Joe Biden. So,
or whoever's at the top of the ticket. I just want whoever will defeat Trump. I just want that to be the top of the ticket. You know, I don't know what the right decision is. I go back and forth. I see people put, I'm like, that seems good. And then I'm like, oh, maybe that instead.
Look what happened in France.
Well, very different political system though. And they also had one election that was like a warning, and then I know, but it's very apples and oranges.
But out of the blue is what I like about it. And the articles I'm reading is that because England also got 200 Labour seats, Labour landslide. But if Trump wins or if he just takes power, there's nothing. Then it's left up to the people, which is never tidy. It's always blood in the streets. And the Germans will have to put us down like rabid animals.
They have guns. That's why they want it, Jackie.
Right.
We're not armed.
We have guns. Not you and I. No, I don't have a gun either. But one of the people that I talked to was like, you don't realize how many guns the left have. We have guns, Jackie. And I was like, we don't have to talk about this. I'm happy you have guns. Have you been to Humboldt County?
You know what?
All of those guys are lefties that are just armed to the teeth.
But they're defending their pot farms, Jackie.
Right.
I want to stay here in France. Maybe I'll just bring my son here and we'll just stay here.
No, just stay. He'll figure it out. He'll come get you. He'll come to you. His dad will send him.
That's what I'm saying. Let's not even bring that guy up.
But Yeah, I don't know
Jackie,
what.
we're almost done.
We're almost done. I'm sorry to have brought it to politics at the very end of it. So I will say that my driving joke is not political and super fun. Even my new Karen bit isn't political, and I am not the hero of it, and is super fun. So come and see me in Bloomington. And then please, for the love of the baby Jesus, come to San Francisco and let her know that I could do a weekend. And then come and see me in Portland on Sunday. We sold the first show out. We've added a second show in Portland.
At the
Earlier,
Siren?
at the Siren. They sold out the 8 p.m., so we've added a 6 p.m.
I love it.
And then I'm doing Eugene on Sunday. That's an early one. Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah.
And at Olson Run is the name of that club. And come to those shows. What about you? You're going to in between Modesto and
yeah. I'm Deaf Puppy, and then I'm doing a Brian Copeland Sunday in the Park or Saturday in the Park in San Leandro. I'm supposed to get I have to figure out the timing on this because the Comedy Store has their signing thing where you sign the wall because you're passed on Saturday morning. So, and his show goes like from 5 to 7 or something like that. So I'm like, I wonder if I could do it. And so I did buy a Southwest, obviously refundable plane ticket. If I could leave at like 1, we'll see if I can make it. And then I'm doing a secret show that I can't promote because it's within,
it's
can't
within
promote
the
it.
area. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm doing I'm doing Marin on Tuesday at the Throck. And then the following weekend, I'll be in Manteca Thursday through Saturday. So come out to that show if you're in Stockton, Modesto, anything like that. It'll be a fun sort of show.
Yeah.
Sunnyvale we'll save for roosters. But this is far out. This is way far out from Sunnyvale.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
for some reason I thought we were talking San Francisco, the Throck and all that. Sorry.
No. I do the Comedy Attic also late in August, the 23rd and 24th, I think. So come. So if you're going to Jackie's, you know what? Save your gas money and come to mine a couple weeks later.
Remember, I'm doing Lincoln Lodge in Chicago in August. So come to that, and it's and I'm doing a bunch of don't tells around. So and then I'm around LA. So come to that. Thank you. Oh, tomorrow night. Oh wait, it's Wednesday. Yeah.
Mind.
Yeah, never mind. I'm doing the Pleasure Chest, but a week from I'm doing Akbar. So that'll be fun. The Tuesday LA West Hollywood gig with Bruce Daniels that I love dearly.
It's great.
Yeah.
We're over and we're getting local now. All right.